Right, Nidge, can you give us a brief history on how the band started?
No, I can't remember actually. I was permanently drunk the whole time. Right, it started. I'll tell you the thing about Lloyd Cole then. It was Lloyd Cole of Lloyd Cole and the Commotions fame. He started a band called The Rhythm, because he's not from Glasgow, he came from Chatham and used to go to Newell School. And I think they did one gig, and I remember me and Mackie, the bass player, we were outside listening. They were just doing like Buzzcocks cover versions of Ramones. And then he packed it in, Coley, and Mackie joined as a bass player. I joined The Rhythm as rhythm guitarist, and we called ourselves Excess Rhythm. We did about 3 gigs, and then we just split up. And me, Mackie and Carl decided to carry on. Found a new drummer, that was Charlie, called himself BLITZ. Did his first gig in the summer of 1980, Sporting Discharge, at Bradford, in front of about 10 people, I think they was there.
How did he go down?
I can't remember, not very well. Yeah. Not very well at all. I mean, we weren't playing the songs like Someone's Gonna Die, we hadn't even wrote those songs yet. Who was playing really, it was the old rhythm material. It was his own songs like, I can't remember who did any cover versions. We attempted Blitzkrieg Bach and Badman, like Company Rejects. No, it didn't go down very well at all. So we did his first demo in that September. That was the one those tracks are on the live album.
So what songs are they?
Escape, Bleed, I can't remember. Time Bomb. Was it? No, it
wasn't. It
no? No.
Q was on Escape.
Yeah, it was. That's right. It was those 4. Nothing happened with that.
So what did you do with it when you send it off to various record companies?
Yeah, but it. I mean, you've heard it, have you?
Yeah, I've got copies.
It was a load of rubbish.
And potential was there?
Yeah, just didn't have the production. It was just on an 8-track studio. So in February '81, we went in the studio and recorded those 4 tracks. Someone's Gonna Die. What were the others? Remind me. What were the others? Someone's Gonna Die. Attack, Fight to Live, and 45 Revolutions. We recorded those with the intention of it being a single. Somehow we were going to either borrow the money and do it ourselves.
Yeah.
But we sent a few copies out. Gary Bushell liked it, and some guy called Chris Berry phoned us up and said we want to release it. And they weren't a record company or anything. They just had this idea that they wanted to put a single out, and so they decided to call themselves No Future Records. Pressed 1,000 copies of the single, and they went around trying to sell it. I think Rough Trade took 25 copies. Somebody else took about 10 copies, and then some distributor turned around and said, "Oh, I'll have 10,000 of them." And so they just started pressing them as fast as they could. That went to number 3 in the indie charts. The only thing that stops us from getting to number 1, I remember, was UB40, and who else was it? Someone like Toya. Yeah. They were at 1 and number 2. So we stayed. That was at number 3 in the indies for 3 weeks. Then the next single was Razor in the Night, Never Surrender. That was number 1 in the indie charts. Warriors, the same with Warriors.
Slow down, you're going too quick. Tell us a bit more about the different bits. So what Razors in the Night and No Surrender? Some people would probably say that was your best single. In my own opinion, it was probably the best single of '82.
Which track? Which track?
Oh, Razors in the Night, man, rather than No Surrender. Yeah. Never Surrender.
I don't know, we did Never Surrender. So we weren't on speed or anything, honestly. Yeah. Just drank a lot of black coffee. But I don't think I could play that song. But that wasn't going to be the second single. We did go in and record Fuck You, Time Bomb,
yeah,
and something else, whatever.
Bleed?
No, can't remember. But it wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough for a single. So
why? Were you saying it wasn't good enough, or was the record company saying it wasn't good enough?
We asked, the record company didn't think so, Gary Bushell didn't think so. We asked a lot of the fans who played them the tape, and they said no, it's not really. It's not a good follow-up to All Right Attack. We needed something better. So we went back and did Razor in the Night. And that ended up as another demo. I think that's on the live album as well, the Time Bomb demo, I think it is. So, yeah, we did Razor in the Night and Never Surrender. That was a double A side.
Why double A side?
Because we couldn't decide which was the best track.
That's fair enough. Were you surprised by the success?
Yeah. I mean, it all happened very fast. And it was all happening too quick. There was a lot of people coming to us, offering us sort of management deals, and we didn't know whether to take them or not. Maybe we should have done. That's one thing we could have done with good management, because we were a bunch of arseholes. We were permanently pissed all the time. Yeah. Except for Mackie, he was the only one who had any sense. But it was just a big joke to us, just a laugh.
Yeah.
And by the time we came around to doing the album, we were all making a living out of it, and just spending the money on beer. It was just one big joke. So we would do Warrior single, then the album, which we recorded at Strawberry Studios. Wasn't happy with the production. I don't think it was very good production. Well, we did at the time. It sounded great in the studio, but when you hear it back on the album, it could have been a lot better.
In what way?
I think the guitar and drums, it just wasn't there. The truth is, that guy, Tim Harris, didn't know what he was doing. He called himself a producer. He was just some guy who knew what to do in the studio. And he just knew more than us, so we thought, oh, great, he'll get us a good sound. But
so he knew what the buttons were, but he didn't know how to press them in the right way.
He didn't really know how to get that sound. Yeah. Like, we wanted the Ramones sound. But, and we had Strawberry Studio. I mean, it's one of the best studios around this area. So it should have been a lot better. But having said that, it didn't cost too much. It only cost about $2,500 to record it.
It's very cheap, isn't it?
Very cheap, yeah.
How much did it cost to record?
That was it, 2.5.
I mean, sorry, how long did it take to record?
How long did it take? 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks. As far as I can remember. and we had to remix it anyway. We did a remix on it. When was that? That was about September 82.
That's right.
I think. So we had the album ready for release, and then No Future came up to New Mills where we live to discuss doing the tour, UK tour with GBH. And we sat there in the pub talking about this tour, and all of a sudden, for some reason, Mackie and Carl ended up fighting, just knocking shit out of each other in the middle of the pub. No idea what it was about. I don't know. They just had cross words about something, and it just turned into a full-scale battle in the middle of the pub. Mackie got banned from that pub for 8 years. He didn't get back in there until the landlord changed. There was just no way he was having him back.
Yeah.
So he just said, right, that's it, I've had enough. I didn't want anything more to do with the band. So we're all set up for a tour with no bass player. So we decided we'd ask this Tim, who was the so-called producer of the album. He was a guitar player, and most guitar players can change to bass. Yeah. So we said, right, I'll play the bass for you on the tour. So we set off. Where did we play? Manchester Apollo. And the whole thing was a bit too ambitious. I think the promoters thought BLITZ can sell like 25,000. GBH can sell about 25,000. Therefore, together, they've got a following of like 40,000, which, they didn't realise they were all the same fans. Yeah. So we didn't do too bad. We were pulling some good crowds at certain places. But the last gig we played was Oxford Apollo, which just got smashed up. It just went crazy. And we were blamed for it. They said that we'd incited this riot. So that was the last gig of the tour. We only did about half the tour. Yeah. The rest of it was just called off. Like Glasgow, we were looking forward to doing, and that just wasn't on. We never ever got to play Glasgow. We've had a lot of fans up there. Yeah. Maybe one day we'll get there one day. Then what happened? Pause, we can edit this bit, can't we? What happened then? That was it. Chris Berry phoned me up and said, you've got the chance to go on the Tube, Channel 4.
Yeah.
He said, so best we have a new track, really. I mean, this was on the Tuesday. He said, it's best we have a new track. So I said, right, we'll go in the studio on Friday. I'll write it this afternoon. So I put the phone down. I just went in the bedroom and got 2 sets of lyrics, 2 completely different songs, put them all together, and just came up with New Age. So we practiced it the next day and recorded it on the Friday. And then at some point, Channel 4 came down, filmed us in the studio, And that was a strange thing because Carl, Tim and Charlie turned up wearing shirts and ties. I'm still wearing this skinhead with a motorbike jacket on, and they've got shirt and ties on. I thought, I don't know what the hell's going on here. This is where they've been planning changes, and I didn't know anything about it. So we did the interview with this penguin wearing glasses. Complete prat. I mean, the guy, he'd never even listened to the Blitz album. He didn't know anything about the Blitz. He just sort of stood there and asked all these stupid questions.
Really stupid questions. That
was the first job he ever had as an interview. It was also the last. He was never seen again.
I'm not surprised. Surprised you didn't punch him in the face. He really was obnoxious, wasn't he?
I didn't have actually anything to do with that interview. I just sort of kept out of it.
Yeah.
And that night they filmed us playing at Smugglers in Stockport.
Yeah.
That was also part of the Channel 4 thing. And that was the last thing I actually did with Blitz New Age. After that...
Right, Neds, can you give us a brief history of